Welcome to another episode of What If Data of Caesar died in gaul. Yes. Was the slave this anti-Roman alliance which had already captured the Senate only needed to defeat the military? Speaking of the military, it would be relatively disorganized, so Italy would be easily captured, and with the military doing absolutely nothing as they want to. But they do something to actually weaken the Italians. That is to enable blockade over time over the years. Yes, the Italians collapse, but this period of these decades of weakness caused massive problems for the Romans. Firstly, the Egyptians invade these two areas, Judea and Phoenicia. Along with that, many barbarian tribes are moving way more freely into the Roman Republic. So by the mid of 4th century-ish, and it's just a massive siege of Italy. Slave revolt completely collapses, but that doesn't mean that they surrendered. There's a massive difference here. In fact, what happens is even worse than surrender. While the army is able to take over most areas, a large chunk of them are not to absolutely do survive. These areas actually include Etruscan, also include the Etruscan area, it's Tuscany, with Tuscany becoming the survivor state. But eventually they do become subjects of not the Roman Republic, but the Roman. Okay, it's still the Roman Republic, but the capital is actually now in Melitinium, so it's not the Roman Empire, I guess. But it's not really like empire. It works in some sort of dominatus fashion. And even then, with this restoration, the barbarians are really good at defeating them. These areas also adopt Christianity, mainly this area, and this area. Southern Italy adopts Christianity. And also there's Tuscany, which does not have, which does not for now. But there has been a massive Christian thing going around as mainly in the east. As the east becomes troubled with massive problems, unfixable problems, there has been no Constantinople with it remaining again a small area. But with the incredibly fast rise of Christianity here, especially after the instability period, the southern Mediterranean becomes a hub for Christianity. This won't lead to actually Christian growth, but with Christianity becoming so large, many cities have now Christian mayors, but the war would mainly start due to the first Christian governor. This is somewhere in the 1380s, the 380s. The first Christian government the governors would form an alliance in the Roman Senate, which would more become like a House of Representatives type of building or Congress-like or Senate or American, this version is more American version, but with a dictator. Eventually, this Christian revolt causes them to march here, and with many states here upholding down Christianity, the East is quickly trampled over, as Christianity is not viewed as that badly by the Zoroastrians. Now, of course, they don't like Christianity as they are Zoroastrians, but they won't rule. They are relatively more tolerant than the Romans are to the Christians. With these governors moving as far as the Valerian kingdom, this new faction would eventually cause another civil war in the Roman Dominatus, and the new countries are going to join this alliance, this empire, this new empire, which will be these three. These three will also ally them. Will also ally. This will force the Romans. This will be so humiliating for the Romans, especially due to another capture of Rome, barbarians moving in. This Roman Empire would quickly collapse. Complete collapse, no hesitation, just collapsing. Germanic tribes quickly move into the Soissons area, which will become basically a zone of anarchy, even worse than any actual zone of anarchy, as there are the basic laws, but there are basically no governments. The pagan areas become seriously weakened. With Gaul being split into three groups: one Christian group, one pagan group, one Gallic group, and one anarchy zone, which is basically an anarchy zone because it's an anarchy zone. These areas are quickly taken over by the Greek Empire, the Greek princedom. Actually, it's the Greek princedom. As princeps is viewed as it's the Greek domination or imperium. The Greek, I will just call them the Greek Empire. Magna Graecia does join the Greek Empire, but the rest form into a sort of Christian successor state called the Italic Empire. Okay, the Italic Empire is really similar to the Roman Empire, but these mainly speak Latin and so yeah, as you can see, the Italic Empire would be also there would be a southern African Empire, with Iberia being turned into a military dictatorship with the Iberian Empire. So what will this world look like? Firstly, we have the Greeks. The Greeks, even though capturing southern conquer it. So by the start of the 5th century, the Roman Empire has already fallen. The Greek Empire is not unstable, it's actually the most stable, as the Persians are still going to go to their crisis of sorts. But eventually it would be restored in the Khazral, the Greek Titan. I don't know if his title is the Greek, but still the Khazravian would restore the Persian Empire back to power, but they would already have a more centralized and less unstable rival, the Greek Empire. The Greek Empire would have minor rivalries, but would mainly be allied with, of course, the Italic Empire, which would mainly lead the areas that are most like that which would mainly be from the Savanea, the Apulian, and the Neapolitan kingdoms. Also, I need to change the color of the Greeks. No, maybe. Okay. Yeah, I haven't changed any political borders here currently for the 4th century. I'll do that probably next episode. So as you can see, we have the Greeks, the Greek Empire. No, I need some type of the Greek Empire, the Italic Empire, which looks like this, I guess. Not like this. This is what the Italic Empire now looks like. And the Sassanids, which still be in a period of instability and weakness. Now, the post-Roman states are incredibly militaristic and less unstable than the historical Romans, so they do have an stability advantage in especially these kingdoms. Especially these kingdoms, the Sardinia and Corsica and the Massalian kingdom being vassals of the Italic Empire. The Iberic Empire would dominate Eastern politics, and the Gaul would be in massive mess, even though it would period of rise. But the Greek Empire, which would be a new guy in the Middle East, would basically tamper with the hegemony of the Persians, which had only one rival, the Egyptians, and the Egyptians were very weak. So 100% and Cappadocia and Pontus are in the Greek zone. Well, the anarchy zone is just, and the anarchy zone, this is anarchic. And the Celtic kingdom, which is just Brittany. Now, of course, so by the 5th century, the Persians are weakening. Georgias has already converted to Christianity, so I guess the Armenians and the Georgians are going to be favorable towards the Greeks. So the Greeks will absolutely destroy any hegemony that the Persians have left, mainly taking over Christian states, but the Persians are going to defend Armenia massively. Even so, Armenia will most likely be split into two: Upper and Lower Armenia. Upper Armenia is modern day Armenian borders, and this area which is more Caucasian Armenia and less Caucasian Armenia. So with these two groups, okay, I haven't done anything else in the old war. I'll most likely update that to this time period. Heck, I didn't even I won't update the new world until the Age of Exploration if that ever happens in this timeline. Now the anarchy zone is quickly controlled by the Germanic tribes. So the anarchy zone is just lasts at a maximum a decade. And the Romans and the Iberic Empire are going to fight each other. Most likely, they are rivals, but the Iberic Empire has the naval advantage, kinda with the Africans, but the Africans are way more pro Italian. Yeah, like the honey conquests will happen in this timeline, but I think I covered it in another video. And with that, let's end the video. Goodbye, guys, and